Hey, what's up you guys, and welcome back to MVR. Facebook is finally bringing some highly requested features to the Quest. There's some new game launches that we need to talk about, and SteamVR has reached some impressive milestones, and there's also one more thing. But before we get to that, let's jump in. One of the most common issues among Oculus Quest users that want to take advantage of its portability is that when they want to share their amazing new VR experiences with others, they run the risk of having their precious game progress become compromised. While some games have had native support for multiple save files that you could rely on to keep your progress somewhat separated, it was far from an ideal solution. Thankfully, Facebook announced that its long-awaited support for multiple user accounts and device-specific app sharing is heading to the Oculus Quest 2 starting next month. Now, before you go putting on your party hats, there are some caveats, so let's take a look at the new features. The upcoming multi-user feature will let you add up to 3 secondary accounts to a single device. That means that on top of the main account that you use to register the device, you can have a maximum of 3 guest accounts that can store their progress. App sharing will additionally give primary accounts the ability to share their library of purchased apps between those guest accounts. Shared apps then will allow users to maintain separate game progress and their own profile-specific achievements. The app sharing feature will also allow a primary account holder to share apps with 3 other devices at some later unspecified point in time as well, transforming this into a more family share-like feature as we've seen previously on Steam. Confusingly enough though, unlike the Steam version, this is not going to be a two-way street, and purchases made by guest accounts will not be accessible by the main user. On top of that, it's important to note that these guest accounts will all have to use their own Facebook account in order to sign in to the feature, meaning that there could potentially be even more chances of getting locked out of either your purchases or your device, as Facebook has not yet quite specified how it plans to deal with situations where one of the accounts that is linked like this receives a ban from the Facebook platform. According to Facebook, all new apps submitted to the Oculus Store after February 13th will be required to have app sharing activated. Developers who published before that date can opt out of app sharing, however they have to do so before February 12th, otherwise it's applied automatically, meaning that we'll likely see this feature being rolled out across the board. Moving on to some more game-related updates. GORN, the single-player arcade battle simulator, is finally coming to Oculus Quest January 28, 2021. First launched on Steam Early Access in 2017, GORN is primal physics-based violence at its best. Because of the cartoon-like aesthetic, GORN seemed to be a perfect fit for a Quest port since the required graphical downgrade compared to the PCVR would be minimal. A main concern for players of the game had been that the sheer amount of physics processing involved with all of the brutal gladiator violence would be too hard to do on the Quest and would thusly be scaled down. Whether or not this is true remains to be seen, as we have yet to see a Quest trailer or reviews. GORN is an awesome excuse to literally tear your frustrations limb from limb, but equally also a great way to trash either your controllers or your hands if you're not careful. So be sure to reacquaint yourself with the Guardian feature of your headset and make sure that you have plenty of extra space around you when playing. Unless of course a broken lamp or TV doesn't bother you and you want that extra level of haptic feedback. We can't guarantee, however, that it will line up with the in-game physics though, so it might take multiple tries before you get the desired effect. IO Interactive's PCVR compatible stealth assassin game Hitman 3 has finally been launched. The studio has released a slick new trailer which promises a world rich with interactivity, far-flung set pieces, and a bunch of immersive narrative to boot. Finally bringing a close to the new Hitman trilogy, Hitman 3 puts a much higher emphasis on story compared to the previous 2 installments. As Agent 47, you and your handler, Diana, take on Providence, the shadowy organization that created the world of assassination as we know it. Hitman 3 is available now on consoles and PC. The option to play the game in VR, however, is limited to PlayStation owners. The PlayStation VR port, which also includes the ability to play Hitman 1 and 2 if you own these games, offers exclusive support for the DualShock controllers and not PS Aim or PS Move, which unfortunately means that individual hand tracking is not going to be an option. Late last year, Ubisoft announced that one of their flagship stealth shooter franchises, SplinterCell, was getting a made-for-VR game. Now, an Ubisoft job posting strongly suggests that the studio is creating a multiplayer component for the game. Ubisoft's Dusseldorf, Germany office is currently looking for a senior lead game designer to define and deliver the multiplayer content of the game in time and quality. Whether this means that we'll be seeing a co-op mode for the game like we've seen in earlier titles like SplinterCell Chaos Theory, or some kind of asymmetrical PC versus VR game mode remains to be seen. While there's still no concrete launch date for either Splinter Cell or Assassin's Creed VR, the sheer number of job posts focused around critical roles in development would suggest that we shouldn't expect either of these games in 2021. Now, 2020 was a big year for VR on Steam with the release of new headsets, Valve's flagship VR title Half-Life Alyx, and the coronavirus pandemic, which drove large increases in gaming. These factors combined pushed monthly connected VR headsets on Steam to pass the 2 million milestone for the very first time, which hopefully will put an end to the endless stream of media articles claiming that VR has failed and is dying. Perhaps one of the most interesting things that we can learn from looking at the historical data collected by Steam is that VR truly seems to be reaching a threshold value that will firmly embed it into mainstream consciousness. Now for that one more thing. According to a report by Bloomberg News, Apple may be planning to release a VR headset with limited AR capabilities as soon as 2022, which is said to be a precursor to its long-rumored, fully-fledged AR device. Apple is reportedly aiming for a niche high-end category with the VR headset. It said the device will be more expensive than rival devices in the VR space, with sales expected to be somewhere around one Apple headset per day per store, which is of course small numbers compared to the company's fleet of mobile devices like the iPhones and iPads they sell, but is still a significant number for VR as a whole. Bloomberg maintains the late-stage prototype headset is codenamed M301. However, it's still being finalized and could be subject to cancellation. Much like Oculus Quest, some prototypes of the VR headset are set to include external cameras to enable some AR features, which could be used for hand tracking considering it's described as containing Apple's most advanced and powerful chips, which will likely be the new M1 chips or the M2 or some kind of special VR version of these chips. It's reasonable to assume though that we're talking about a standalone device with pass-through AR capabilities. Now, according to the report, weight savings was also a concern, so in order to make the headset as close-fitting as possible, it will require additional prescription inserts due to the lack of extra room to accommodate for glasses. The exterior is also still expected to be made out of fabric in order to support better cooling for the device. The AR prototype, which is projected to follow at some point after the VR headset, is said to be codenamed N421. It's suggested N421 is still in a very early stage of development and has a reported 2023 unveiling. So far, all of this kind of needs to be taken with a very big grain of salt, considering we have no concrete evidence as of yet. On top of that, anything in pre-production from such a large company as Apple is always subject to cancellation. And like with all things that Apple releases, they're never in a hurry, so expect them to be in it for the long run. So what do you guys think about the new VR releases? Do you think Apple entering the VR market will provide a more interesting market? And if so, would you be interested in getting one? Be sure to let me know in the comments down below. And as always, if you like this content, leave a like and I will see you guys next time.